So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk you through the 4 over the years. I'm kind of going to give you my personal opinion about what I think the 4 main negative or irrational thinking patterns are. Okay? And the first one is expectations. So we all have expectations. We have expectations of ourselves, we have expectations of other people. There are 7 words, we've all heard of the 7 sins. I have 7 thinking sins, and they are comprised of 7 words or 7 phrases, and they are as follows. Should, could, would, supposed to, ought to, must, and have to. Why are these words so problematic? We often ask yourselves how often you say things to yourself like, she should understand me. It could be that way, but it's not. I'm supposed to get that promotion. She's supposed to understand me. He's supposed to be with me. He ought to be with me. I have to go. I must do it this way. The problem with these words is they suggest that the world is supposed to be a way in which it fundamentally is not. When we say something should be a certain way, what we're actually realizing is that the way that it is not the way we think we need it to be. What we're saying to ourselves is that the world is not the way we'd like it to be. And that gap between what we think it should be and the reality of the way that the world is, that's what causes us to feel tense, distress, and anxious. Second thing is taking things personally. Ask yourself how many times you have stumbled into the path of somebody else's craziness, okay? Somebody else criticizing you, shaming you, blaming you, telling you you're wrong, telling you you're lazy, telling you you're no good, just unloading on you. And in our minds, what happens? We start to believe it. We start to think, subconsciously or maybe even consciously, that what they're saying is true. We take things personally. When people act in a certain way, any choices in the behavior that people make, it's actually not about us, it's about them. We have to take the inherent me-ness out of it. He did that to me. I can't believe she did that to me. How could they say that to me? It's not about you, it's about them. Each person is responsible for their own behavior. We are responsible for our own behavior and our own reactions. Third thing is confusing wants with needs. So we all want things in life, and as human beings, we also need things in life. We are wired as human beings, as animals, to go after our needs, to seek them and fulfill them. And if we don't fulfill our needs as animals, as human beings, then we feel tense, we feel distressed, we feel anxious. This worked for us years and years ago when we needed to, fulfill needs for survival, and we still need to fulfill needs for survival. There's an old Buddhist proverb, and the proverb says, I think they got it actually lost in translation when they translated it to English. And it's translated to, all suffering arises from desire. Some of you may have heard that before. I don't believe that. I think that all suffering arises from need. And so we need to be very careful about how we define what we need. Oftentimes we think we need things that we don't actually need. We want them. We desire them. I think I need a relationship. I need to be married. I need to have children. I need to get a certain type of job. I need to go to college. I need to go to that university. I need. What we're actually saying, for most of the things that we think we need, we desire them. We want them. Life would be better if we had them, but we don't actually need them. And if we change our language to ourselves that way, and we recognize that in fact we want these things and we don't need them, then we feel much less distressed, because we can reconcile in our minds that when we want things, it's fine to want things. We all want things, but we also know that we don't always get everything we want, and we're okay with that. If we're healthy, we're okay with that. Fourth negative thinking pattern is, inability to accept. So I often ask my clients what they think acceptance is, to define it for me. And they come up with various permutations of the word and how to define it. But the definition of acceptance is acknowledging that something is a certain way in the world, whether it be an event or a person's behavior or their opinion about something, and not necessarily having to agree with it. This is where people trip up with acceptance. They think that accepting something means to condone it, that they inherently agree with it if they accept it. And that's just not true. We can accept things, we can accept people the way they are, we can accept events for occurring the way they occur without having to agree with it. We don't have to like it, we don't have to be in a relationship with that person, but acceptance means that we acknowledge, hey, I get it, it is that way. I don't have control over it being that way, and I'm fine with that. And then you can choose from there.